Good morning, everyone. I am Chris Earl, the Southern California Regional Advisor for the California Office of the Small Business Advocate. And today I wanted to take this opportunity to speak with one of our COVID-19 relief grant recipients, Debbie Yopp. And I'm gonna give you a moment for her to tell you all about her and her organization and share some thoughts about the grant process. So Debbie, I'd like to ask you a few things, but first off, please tell us about your small business or your organization. When did you open and why did you choose to open your nonprofit?
Well, thank you so much, Chris. I appreciate the opportunity. But I am the president and co-founder of Service Through Action, which is an organization that's tasked to assist other organizations facilitating their success. And in doing so, what we do is offer our consulting services in staff development, fundraising, image management, anything from the womb to the tomb that will help another organization be successful. So we started about maybe 7 or 8 years ago, and it started small with a group of individuals that were retired school administrators, accountants, CBO administrators and managers, because we saw that there was such a need for small businesses, and most nonprofit organizations are mom and pop, literally. They're very, very small, and they don't have the resources to tap into. So we used our resources, gathered together, pulled them together, and then we offered them to help other organizations be successful.
That is awesome. So let me ask you about the grant process. How was the small business COVID-19 relief grant application process for you?
Well, one of the things that our organization does is grant writing and grant reviews. And in my 30 odd years of experiences, this was the most painless grant application that I've ever encountered. Um, Usually there's a long narrative and you have to do financials and you have to get references and you have to, identify your mission statement and all of these things that are very difficult for small organizations to have to put together, and it's costly, and they don't always have the experience to do that. This grant was painless. So we appreciated that. That was so helpful for us, especially since our use of resources is diminished. We don't have all the, staff and the volunteers
Mhm.
available to help us. So this was great.
Thank you for sharing that. And that actually led into my next question. What will you use the grant funds for, and how will this help your organization overall?
Well, we the bread and butter of many organizations is volunteers. But underneath the bread or in between the bread, there's rent, utilities. There are bills that have to be paid. We can't survive without them. And while we really embrace the help of those who want to join us, there's some very, very serious hard costs that we needed this grant for. Just making sure that the lights were on and that the internet was working and that the phones were working and we could pay our rent. So this was very, very much needed. And that's what those funds were diverted for.
Thank you, thank you. And last question, is there anything else that you'd like to share with any other California small businesses or nonprofits?
Well, I encourage them, if they have not done so, I encourage them to follow up and seek, any of the resources that the SBA or Lendistry or the California COVID opportunities offer for grant funding. And also to partner with other organizations, because what you may not have, someone else may. So this is a great opportunity for individuals to work together, partner, collaborate, network. I generally don't like to use the word networking. I'd rather collaborate. It's an opportunity to share resources because the resources are limited, and it's a great time to be together.
That is amazing. Thank you, Debbie. And I really appreciate you taking the time to answer the questions and do this interview with me today. And that concludes our interview.